Evil Dead. Evil fucking Dead. There, I didn't even have to give you a review. You know implicitly with those two words alone that you will be in for a high quality, gory comedic thrill ride. Assuming that the words Bruce and Campbell are in the vicinity. And whilst people sing the praises of Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, as they rightfully should, personally, it's all about the original for me. Whilst later efforts were more comedy and less horror, the first Evil Dead straddles the line between the two and offers us a harrowing look at Ash Williams' development from timid college student who stands in the background uselessly holding an axe like it's his own limp dick, to chainsaw-handed menace to all the denizens of hell. Groovy indeed, Campbell-sensei. So successful was the film it spawned 2 sequels, a surprisingly fun TV series, a video game that nearly counted as a trip through hell itself, and, like everything else, a vastly inferior remake. Don't get me wrong, 2013's Evil Dead has its moments. I just don't see it as much of an upgrade to replace Ash and his gang of student friends whose idea of fun is to hang out at a haunted incest hut in bumfuck nowhere with a drug-addicted doomer and a depressed hippie who looks like he's still disappointed the 60s didn't go quite the way everyone hoped they would. But as director Fede Alvarez went back to remaking Jaws as a blind man with a broken dick instead of a shark, the question, at least for me, was thus: would the next movie be more 2013 or more Ash vs. Evil Dead? Well, we have our answer in the form of Evil Dead Rise. The film follows Beth, an on-the-road guitar technician who finds out she's pregnant with the bastard son of a faceless sperm donor. Naturally, since she's a career-oriented millennial woman, this is the worst thing that has ever happened to anyone in the history of forever. So of course she seeks advice from her sister Ellie, a single mother of 3, living in an urban shithole because her husband went to get some cigarette-flavoured milk on his way to see a man about a dog, presumably fell into the back rooms and never came back again. After an earthquake shakes the foundations of the old apartment building, Ellie's androgynous son and presumably lesbian activist daughter discover a vault of all things hidden under the structure, and to Geraldo's delight, it actually contains something. No, it's not a script for a better Evil Dead movie, it's the good old Book of the Dead, complete with some handy LPs for an unsuspecting androgynous teenage boy to play back and unleash the devil's ball washers to swallow every soul in their path. But Glenn, I hear you cry from the hole in the ground I made you dig at gunpoint. A single-parent family encountering a supernatural evil? That sounds a lot like... Yes, I know, it sounds like The Curse of La Llorona, and that's strike one because you do not want to remind me of that movie. Secondly, really? In a franchise where Bruce Campbell literally went back in time and fought Ray Harryhausen skeletons and tiny versions of himself, you couldn't think of a better concept than this? I had to check and make sure James Wan didn't executive produce this shit. I could come up with about 6 better ideas for an Evil Dead movie off the top of my head, and you went with a plot about a 30-year-old white woman who has to be terrified into taking some responsibility for herself through the threat of total bodily dismemberment? Hey, now that I think about it, this movie is actually kind of based. Anyways, just as the feminists have the Bechdel test, I too have the Evil DeadEye test. It's a test I just made up and is used specifically to delineate between those films that are Evil Dead and those that are not Evil Dead. So let's get into it. In order for a film to qualify as Evil Dead, it must meet the following criteria. 1. It must contain the Book of the Dead. 2. It must actually be funny. 3. It absolutely must contain Bruce fucking Campbell. Oh well, 1 out of 3 is, well, it's not bad. I'll say that. Thing is, there's something both this movie and the 2013 movie just don't seem to understand. Evil Dead has always been a slapstick horror series. Yes, even the original. Being that Sam Raimi is a massive Three Stooges nerd, humour, especially of the black and physical kind, has always been a staple of Evil Dead. And that's just the problem. These movies aren't funny. Yeah, there's a few funny lines here and there, but none of the twisted and mischievous nature of the original movies in which Ash Williams is plunged into a world of total insanity which made the Evil Dead movies the comedy cousin to the works of H.P. Lovecraft. The new movies seem to be trying really hard to be your average Bumhouse movie, but with the veneer of an Evil Dead film papered over the top. Also, where is Bruce Campbell? Are you seriously telling me you would rather watch an Evil Dead film where the main character spends the first half hour brooding over her life choices? Or would you rather watch old Bruce once again shrug his shoulders, don the chainsaw hand, and start murdering ghouls again? If you answered the former, then I'm writing to my local MP to have your right to vote stripped from you. I am not a crank! But putting aside my angry Evil Dead nerd misgivings, what did I think of the film overall? It's fine. It's mostly boo jump scares on a plot that wouldn't be out of place in a Conjuring universe movie. The gore gets pretty glorious in places, especially towards the end. There's one or two truly toe-curling moments that gorehounds will love, and there's a pretty damn cool monster at the end too. Character-wise, it's nothing to write home about. The main character's entire arc is just, gee, do I want to be a mum? Eventually ending with, oh, I guess I do want to be a mum, you know, given that I've pretty much been forced into the prospect. The kids aren't too memorable either. This one looks like a Just Stop Oil protester, and this one looks like Eminem after an estrogen regimen, and the little one almost lets her demonic mother in through the front door. Yes, just like Curse of La Llorona. You're not making this easy, movie. They all do fine enough jobs amidst the cacophony so common to modern horror, but they don't exactly light up the screen either. A disappointing concept coupled with some fine cinematography and gore work make this a middling recommendation, but if you're out for something truly Evil Dead, then you're in for a whole lot of generic horror and only a few really evil moments. So decent enough entertainment to while away the day as you wait for your Blu-ray of the original trilogy to pop through your letterbox. I'm Evil DeadEye.
Swallow this.